Hey guys, I'm back and we are playing XDefiant. Today we're going to be doing a badass Battle Pass stream. We're going to be checking out a reward from Season 1's Battle Pass. This is the Tier 89 reward. So basically the max tier reward. The max tier reward is obviously Tier 90, but this is the max tier blueprint or weapon skin reward. The other one is an operator skin. So that's what we're going to be checking out. We're going to be playing with the TAC-50 Spectra weapon skin. It is a legendary skin. And yeah, that's the plan for today. Now, you do need to own the Battle Pass. You do need to get to Tier 89 to unlock this. So that is this is part of the premium rewards. What's kind of interesting with the XDefiant Battle Pass is the Tier 90, the max tier reward, is actually a free reward. So with the Tier 90 operator skin, that is something that you can get even if you don't own the Battle Pass. And it's a pretty nice skin too. But with the weapon skin, this Tier 89 one, which is what we're checking out, this is part of the premium Battle Pass, and you do need to own and, like I said, complete the tier to unlock it. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be checking out. This is kind of like what it looks like. Let's go ahead and play the inspect and rotate it around and get a closer look. So a pretty cool looking weapon skin, I do have to say. I do like it. It's not that I don't. I think I think being at a legendary status weapon skin, there's a few things that I feel like it could be doing more so as far as maintaining that legendary status. But all in all, it's a decent looking blueprint. And I'm not 100% certain, but I think the skull and certain, those kind of like highlighted blue sections and all that, I think that it has like somewhat glow in the dark properties, maybe. I honestly don't ever bother checking properly whenever I'm playing. I have been using this like skin for a bit now, because I've been grinding out the TAC-50 like levels for the mastery camo. So I have been grinding it out, but it sometimes goes over my head as far as noticing that stuff. Yeah. There's also like kind of a strange effect that is applied to the skull. Like if you look at it in certain angles like that, right? It almost has like kind of depth to the image, right? When you're looking at it in very specific angles, which I think is like a pretty interesting touch. Definitely we'll try to save the criticism for the end of the stream or something like that. All in all, it's a pretty nice skin. It is a pretty nice skin. Well, actually, the criticisms are like small. Like I think being in a legendary status, I would have liked to see maybe like some animation going on, possibly like some electric current going on in the barrel or something like that, kind of be animated or something like that, right? That would be nice. And we will take a closer look at it in the loadout. But for the most part, if you change attachments and stuff like that, the blueprint does retain the visuals, except for the optic. And this is sort of like another kind of gripe I have with it being a legendary blueprint. And I know this is like probably the case with all the weapons. Like you put on an optic, it sort of doesn't, it just looks like the default looking optic, right? This obviously has, the sniper has its own default scope optic, right, as an attachment. But if you change the scope to any of the other ones, it does kind of just look like the default optics that you're changing it to, right? To maintain the visual of the optic, design that you're applying to it, right? My small gripe would be like being at a legendary status. I kind of wish they would maybe have uniform design to the optic tied to the blueprint, no matter how you change it. Not necessarily meaning like the optic should look like this, but whatever optic you apply to it should have that kind of design of the blueprint to it. There's only like 4 optics in the sniper category, right? And equally less optics with the other weaponry. So I think when it's like a legendary status, ideally, no matter what skin you get, it should kind of retain kind of visuals no matter what optic you're putting on it. But at the very least, legendary statuses, like any attachment you apply to it, should have like the visual of the skin, in my opinion. So yeah, let's go ahead and just quickly take a peek. Now, I'm not going to use the default optic because I use a different optic with the sniper. But this is what I mean, right? You put on either of these 2 optics, it changes the visual. So not even 4 optics. There's only really 3 optics. One is the default one, which obviously retains the visuals, and then these 2 that don't, right? Now, what I'm saying is I don't think the optic should look like this no matter what optic I'm using. I do think the optic should resemble the optic that I've equipped to it. But I think like this optic could have that same color palette as this, right? So being at a legendary status, I think at the very least, those like higher tier skins, you know, it'd be nice to have a little bit of uniformity when the attachments do change visuals, like the case of the optic. So again, optics should look like the way it is here or this one, right? But color palette should match the skin is my personal opinion when we're talking about the upper tier skins. Now, like I said, any other attachment you place on it, it won't change the visuals. So you can put on suppressor, muzzle booster, change barrels. You know, there's no other thing that actually messes with visuals in any which way, right? Which is nice. And the same applies to stock, right? So everything else I'm good with, you know, like it retaining the visuals and not necessarily showing that there's a suppressor there or something like that, right? I'm fine with that. But with the optic, I do agree that you should kind of showcase the optic that is on that you've equipped. But at the same time, I think on the higher tier, like skins that you're purchasing or part of the battle pass and all, it'd be nice to have a little bit of like visual uniformity for the skin. Ideally, like I said, with all the skins, that's the case because, you know, it's only just a few optics. It's really not asking a whole load to have at least the color palette match the skin, right? But if not all, at the very least, the legendary stuff should, or like the high tier weapon skins should try to match for that. So yeah, this is the build I'm going to be using for the TAC-50. Again, like there's like not any major thing other than the optic. So I figured, you know, use my build and whatnot, no issues. Muzzle booster, lightweight, CQBS optic, and quick draw and reinforced. So yeah, even though, like I said, the optic does get visually different, I don't want to use an optic that I'm not comfortable with while sniping. I'm, as it is, not the best sniper. So yeah. Now, like with the previous Battle Pass stream that we checked out, the ACR skin, Power Washer, what we're going to do is we're going to play the objective modes for several games, and then we'll play some Slayer games to end it. And Slayer meaning hot shots or TDM is what I was thinking I'd do. So that is the plan for today. Now again, I'm not like the best sniper, okay? So don't expect like insane sniper gameplay. I'll try to do what I can. In this game, I'm a little bit more competent with sniping, but not by much. Yeah, like I said, the two gripes I have with it, I was going to say, might as well just get it out of the way, right? Like I said, the optic retaining, you know, uniformity with the visual design of the skins would be nice. And maybe having some added effects to sell that, legendary status of the tier 89 blueprint or skin. Like I said, if it had like some electric kind of effect going around the barrel where that kind of rope is tied around it, just have that little like sparking up or something, would have been pretty cool, I think. Or something of that line, right? The electric thing is just something I thought of the top of my head kind of thing. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But maybe that doesn't fit the theme or something. Still, some sort of effect would have been interesting and appreciated. Yeah, I've been grinding out the camos for the TAC-50, like the new one, the Titanium series camos. So I have been using this skin for a bit. I like it, it's alright. What be speech enough? You relax.
Domination comes naturally to us Phantoms. Three, two, one. Secure all the capture zones. Team capturing zone A.
This is my first game on, mind you, so if I'm a little slow to the reaction, I apologize.
Fight started already. Finish it, Shadow Team. Take the zone. Capture zone contested.
Ah.
We're moving on zone B. Good for our rep. Zone A under enemy assault. Capture zone contested. We're assaulting zone C. We got the zone. Zone compromised.
What's up, Slayer? How you doing?
Hostiles on the rope. Hostiles on A. Kick them off. Zone secured. Zone compromised. Hostile taken. We're securing A. Secure the capture zone and keep them that way. We're going for base. Enemy has boots on A. Zone contested. Hostile incursion on C.
Get it, man. You're not.
We got the zone. Hostile taking B. Ultra good to go. Ultra ready for deployment.
I mean, they can't win it, I don't think, even if they hold both zones. Hey! How did I die, man? Oh, someone sniped me. I thought the flamethrower got me. I was like, dude, jeez, that flamethrower really freaking hit me hard. Without... Damn it. That's...
We're on B. We're securing A. domination. This mission plays to our strengths. Three, two, one. Get out there and capture those zones, Shadow Team. Zone secured. Zone B. We're assaulting Zone C.
I'm down, but not out. Yet.
Zone A under enemy assault.
How did that not hit?
Zone C in trouble. Team capturing Zone A. We're moving on Zone B.
Shield out.
Zone secured. Team capturing Zone A. We're moving to Zone B. Zone A under enemy. Enemies on B. Light 'em up. Let's go.
Deploy.
The
Ultra ready for deployment. You're behind. Get back on mission. We're going for B. Hostiles on A. Get them off. Sophie's compromised. Take all zones and keep them secure. Situation report. Enemies control all zones. Deal with them. Who's under enemy attack? Strike hard. He is capturing Zone B. Team going after C. We got the zone.
what's up, Strozo? It's going good. It's good.
Now everyone
Enjoying myself. Finally got around to showcasing the skin. I've been doing other things, prioritizing other things. I've had this one for a while unlocked. Honestly, there is there has been a small thing to do in Battlefield. Sort of keen on jumping on that for like a chill play stream, but XDefiant be calling. Enjoy XDefiant too much to not want to throw this game. Play more of it. Then tomorrow, there's Call of Duty's new season's kicking off. The only thing that's got like me hopeful about Call of Duty is it going on Game Pass right now. I'm hoping that'll like revitalize the player base enough that I'll start getting into good connections. But if I continue getting into those like 150 ping connections after this the Game Pass like release, I'm gonna be pissed. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm like excited about, like the new season for like thing. I'm like, oh man, hopefully there's a fresh group of like players so that I can potentially.
Zone C in trouble. We're moving on Zone B.
The one with the like flames on the head. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Those do look cool. I like that. That one, right? The guy's got it. Looks like he's sweating his balls off with his new skin.
We're moving on zone B. Fight started already. Finish it, Shadow Team. Take control.
The fuck is that guy in the back doing?
We're moving on zone B. Capture zone possession. Trouble. We got this covered. Enemy zone. Light 'em up. Zone contested. Team has boots on A. Hostile taking B.
Yeah, I wish there was a weapon skin in it. Otherwise, I'm probably tempted for the Phantom skin.
Going for B. Pick yourself up. Punch back. C is under enemy attack.
Hey,
Hostile taking B. Securing zone A.
Are you fucking kidding?
Enemy has boots on A.
That was upsetting, to say the least.
All zones. Deal with them. Zone B's compromised. Hostiles hold all the zones. Strike hard. Enemies taking C. Zone secured. Now's the time to bring it on. Enemy on B. We're targeting C. Moving on B.
I am down. Smoke out. Dead.
Don't let that.
Oh my god. What a game that was. This skin, right? Yeah, I'm tempted with this one. Yeah, I was noticing that one yesterday. Play a couple more like objective games and then we'll play a few TDMs. Yeah, I don't care about this skin that much because I don't play the DeadSec that much, but the Phantom skin's cool. I kind of wish there was like a blueprint instead of the DeadSec skin. Like, I don't mind this stuff and this stuff. That's cool. That's whatever. Oh yeah, this one's cool. I really like the green outfit for that girl, the Death Machine outfit. Like, I'd like to see the similar variant for this guy, if there is one. I've seen people running that one, and that's really cool. I haven't seen that in the store though, so I'm guessing they got that from the Ubisoft app, this one.
Team capturing Zone A. We're moving on Zone B. We got the zone. Zone secured. Enemies on B. Light 'em up. Capture zone contested. We're assaulting Zone C. All zone. Zone C in trouble. That did it.
Should have got the other guy, but got away with it, I guess.
We're assaulting Zone C.
Move, teammate! Damn it!
Zone contested. Enemies on B. Keep up that focus.
Damn it. Those guys were not happy with me there. Oh no, that should not have happened. Ah, I'm dead.
Capture zone contested. We hold all the zones. Classic shadows.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the XDefiant community is kind of like I noticed these guys' names and all. Like I recognize them.
Zone compromised. We're assaulting Zone C.
Like obviously that eat shit, dude. It's a pretty memorable name.
Zone B under assault. Friendly's moving on C.
Ah, get away from me.
Zone contested.
Oh, I didn't see the guy in the little corner there until it was too light.
Zone B, under assault. Zone contested. Friendly moving on scene.
Uy.
We got the zone. We're going for B. Zone contested.
There's so many of them there too, man.
Accomplished. That's our Shadow 2 role.
Choke that little end bit. Dude, how did they give it to Gunslinger? I actually like it's odd, but I actually like the fact that I recognize the people I play with. It makes them more human, the more and more I recognize them. Like, I mean, I know they're all human, obviously, but you can sort of like just ignore the fact that they're people when you're playing like in other games that, you know, you're just constantly matched up with randos and you don't recognize anybody. It creates also like those kind of like rivalries and kind of like, and it feels natural. It doesn't feel forced. Like there are times where I was matched up with a similar person that's a massive sweat in COD, right? In the recent CODs. And it often felt like forced because of the way like the matchmaking worked. Like I'm like, oh, yeah. It's not. Whereas this one, like, you know, sometimes they play good, sometimes they play bad. It feels like it's a natural, like, or even when they're really good and they do good regularly, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win the game or anything like that. Still have chance of losing the game. So it actually feels like a back and forth. I don't know, man. Escort in this game, though, like, it can be rough. This has the potential of, like, just going sideways massively. In both directions, either for or against you. But, like, it's, like, a massive slammage sometimes, I feel. I don't know. Am I? Oh my god, these guys are going the wrong way. This way, fools, this way. Oh my god, these guys are going the wrong way. No! Look, guaranteed we're gonna get slammed. Guaranteed. When teammates don't know which direction to go, that's a bad scene.
Enemies escorting a package. Don't let them push into the delivery zone.
I actually kind of want to leave this game. Like, teammates have gone in the complete wrong direction. And this one's still in the wrong side. Oh, he's coming. He's realized. Fucking morons. That's like a straight up noob move, dude. Like, hardcore noob move. I did that though. I did that once also. And I was familiar with the map too when I did it, dude. It's bad. Are you kidding?
Our side's already engaged. Help them stop the package. The package is heading in the right direction. Backwards. Enemy package nearing checkpoint. Stop it. Enemy package checkpoint. Take him out.
These guys aren't even that new to the game, dude. How did they go in the wrong direction the way they did? But to be fair to them, there should be a way to get around that from that side. I feel, but still. It was a bit thick on their part. Why? Fuck off, man.
Stop the hostile.
Didn't put out the shield when I tried to. I guess you can do it there.
Second grenade.
god, what is this dude doing, teammate?
Happy to retreat. Take out all the hostiles. Stop their package. Mission update. You're on attack. Move that vacuum forward. Mission update. Hostiles reached the delivery zone last round. Now we need to beat their time.
Oh my god, that lag. What on earth? Dude, there's so much packet burst going on when I'm near the thing.
Engineering checkpoint. Get back in the fight. Move like you got purpose. Patrick is going the wrong direction.
I'm getting so much like lag.
You expected an airlift to the action?
Come on.
Keep the package moving.
No, you fuck. Let's go. What a game that was.
You got it done.
What a game. That dude with his proxy mines, dude. Shit he is. Like his name says. Alright, let's do Slayer action. Slayer is not going to be good. Like, I'm not that fast with the sniper. I'm better off in like objective modes. When I'm sniping.
Team deathmatch. I think you know the rules of engagement here. 3, 2, 1. Take out the hostile force. Battlefield is hot. You're good at team.
Dude, these guys are not even...
Phantom. Keep up that focus. Enemy fires a lock on your position.
Eh.
We're losing. I promise you, this will work. Shadow team, and it ain't looking good. deathmatch. The Phantom's favorite sport. 3, 2, 1. Neutralize the hostile team. Battlefield top. You're good at the engage, Phantom.
One more game, we'll call it. As far as the primary, we'll do bonus grind. Continue plan.
Team deathmatch. I think you know the rules of engagement here. 3, 2, 1. Take out the hostile force. Battlefield is hot. Engage Panther. Good for our rep. Fuck that
Hey. I don't know why it didn't click.
Hostiles are on the road.
Throwing grenade!
Also, good to go. Also, good to go. Things are looking good. Keep up that focus. That's how Shadow Team does it. Great. Now everyone will want to join Shadow Team.
have to mute the game audio because that clicking sound from like the battle pass thing, like this one, yeah, that drives me insane. So I don't want it to come through the stream. TAC-50 Spectra blueprint, weapon skin, checked out, played with, enjoyed. I slammed with it. I slammed with it. Usually, like, I'm a little bit inconsistent. In this game, I'm a little bit more consistent than I am with other games, but usually I'm a tad bit on the inconsistent side with the snipers. It's a pretty good snipe in action for the bulk of it. Yeah, I mean, visually it's a nice blueprint and all that. Like, I don't have like massive hate for it or anything like that. And I do think, I don't know, honestly, I don't know. I presume it was intended, but when you look at it in certain angles and stuff like that, right? That skull in the front has this kind of effect, like visual effect that kind of goes on with it, that makes it sort of like an interest. I don't know how to put it. Like, it definitely has like a three-dimensional effect in certain kind of like ways you look at it, I guess. But it almost blurs out and all, and it kind of has this like speed lines kind of thing when you're looking at it, like, you know, aiming down sights and all. I mean, definitely when I'm turning it around and all here like this, there is sort of like a three-dimensional shape to that skull. Sort of, as you move around and look at it, right? So it is a pretty unique, interesting like effect, for sure, for sure. And I am presuming it is glow in the dark kind of like effect also. I think so. I'm not, again, it looks like it, right? It has like, it brightens up when you're looking at it and stuff like that. It's got to be, I presume. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good blueprint. Don't get me wrong, I like it. But I am feeling like, you know, like the way that thing is wrapping around the barrel, I feel like it's almost like, I'm like, man, if this sparks or something were like coming around or some sort of effect, right, to kind of complement the thing wrapping around the barrel, I think that would have gone a long way. The other thing I was actually thinking about while using this was this would actually be a pretty interesting blueprint to be in a like I think the COD term like is reactive. It has like a reactive state to it, or an evolving state to it, right? And I think this could have been a pretty easy slam dunk evolving state blueprint, where it goes from blue, and the more and more kills you get, like it slowly, the color shifts to red. So like if you're on like a decent streak or something, your weapon will be red, right? As opposed to blue. And I think that could have been an interesting also like option for this particular like skin for the TAC-50, where it has like a bit of an evolution to it as far as color palette goes. I actually still think like it could have been both, right? Like where it's an evolving color, where it shifts from blue to a red or something like that, and you have that kind of like effect, like, you know, like electric current or whatever, some sort of effect on the barrel that is more like animated, right? Like an animated effect and a reactive like visual design to it. I think both, if both were there, like it would be unquestionable that this is of legendary status, right? Like it's like that. It's like, yeah, this is worthy. Minus that, it's like, okay, it's cool. I like it. I do like the effect of the skull and all that, but I still question the like. I don't know. It's really weird. Like whenever games do rarities, I think like said like again, I'm going back to like the games I know, but like Call of Duty, like they used to do the rarity thing also, and I used to make fun of them because they used to do the same shit, right? Where like they'll put these arbitrary rarities on like their cosmetics, and I'll be like, how is this rarity, right? It's like, dude, what are you talking about? How did this even like get to that? Because I mean, like sometimes they do like a rarity and it wouldn't even have any attachments on it or something. It was just nonsense. Like the system, the rarity system, like in microtransactions, just comes off a little extra nonsensical, right? Especially like when you have something like a legendary status. Once you do that kind of rarity thing, it is grounds for comparison to the other stuff that is of that same status, right? And you're definitely going to compare the legendary like blueprints and the value of the legendary blueprints in the store versus the like battle pass, right? And that's going to just happen now because the rarity system exists in this game. So I've been talking about this in several of my battle pass streams. I do think that the quality of the stuff you get in the battle pass should be equal to the quality of the stuff you see in the store of that same value, rarity, or whatever you want to put it, right? So when I see this blueprint and I'm like, it's a legendary status, my go-to thought is, okay, how much does a legendary status cost in the store? And what can I expect from it, right? And I bought a legendary status like blueprint, like solo purchase, not bundle purchase. And it's being sold at like 1,400 credits. So that's immediately like my go-to value or evaluation for pricing on this legendary blueprint, even though this is a battle pass thing, right? So it's like, okay, so this is technically a legendary blueprint. It's got that value of at least 1,400 credits if I was to buy it in the store. Yeah, I got it in the battle pass. But you have to understand, the battle pass is meant to be that deal, right? Where you're kind of investing in the game at a kind of reduced cost that you would be paying for the bundles, but you're accepting the fact that you need to put in that time. So you have to, the trade-off is a reduced cost, but a commitment to the time that you're putting into the game, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean like battle passes, just because it's a lower price means it needs to be a lower quality to the bundles. No, the trade-off is it's a lower price because I'm putting in time to unlock that item, right? So the quality still needs to match up, right? So we're just gonna showcase two things that I want to show. So this is the bundle, the skin that I bought for the ACR that again is a legendary status. And it's got animation, it's a kind of unique weapon model. And even this, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like the first of the legendary. So this was preseason worthy of legendary, right? So I'm definitely saying, okay, it needs to be like the season 1 legendary skins need to be better than this, right? So then the next thing I look at is the other legendary skin that I got, which is this one, I believe. Right? So here you've got animation, you've got kind of like a bubbling effect. So like visual and like kind of like color and visual animations, like the bulb, like it bubbles a little bit, it like kind of bubbles up and all. So again, this is the bar I'm kind of setting for the legendary skins that I want to see, right? So that's why, like, when I see this skin, I want to see a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more. I want to see like that kind of animated effect on the barrel, something, you know, like to tie it in. It doesn't necessarily, the animated aspect of the barrel is just my idea to what they could have done. But it's not limited to that. They could have done other things also, like maybe, this is a kind of an out there idea, but like maybe like the skeleton kind of pops out of the like weapon every so often. Like if you get like a multi-kill or something like that, it kind of pops out on the side like like a skeleton screaming, and it kind of comes out of the weapon a little bit, and it's like this three-dimensional like kind of specter coming out of your weapon that is in the skeleton form, right? There's so many things you could have done that have that kind of added value of animation. And then, like I said, that reaction concept that I have would have been pretty simple, but also would have been kind of like on that level where it's like, okay, this is something extra special, which is what where it puts that legendary status on there. So that's just my thoughts behind it. Personally, I do think like as the first of the Battle Pass, like kind of final skin and all, legendary skin and all that, I think it's okay. It's good enough, right? But I'm talking about the future and stuff like that, what I'd like to see in the Battle Passes and how I like to evaluate what is worthy and what isn't. So I think as a starting point, this is fine, good enough, right? Like I said, the kind of visual effect that you get from the skeleton as you turn the like thing is kind of cool. It is kind of cool the way they did that, right? Like, I think in this angle, right? You see that front part where the nose and the jaw meets? That definitely has like almost a three-dimensional effect to it, right? So I mean, there is aspects to this that is kind of fascinating. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Now, the other thing that I talked about this in the beginning, and I'm going to repeat it, is now they haven't done this for any of the blueprints. So this is not like, oh, they did this, but they haven't done it here. It's something that I'd like to see, though. Like, I'd like to see. I've been a big proponent, like, where I'm like, yeah, I really like the fact that I can throw on the attachments on my like weapon and I maintain the visuals of it. I don't have a problem like where I'm throwing on a suppressor and I can't see the suppressor on the gun, so I'm like mad. I'm like, why can't I see my suppressor and all that? I don't have that kind of issue and all that, right? I'm fine with it. But I do appreciate the fact that like, okay, the optics, like, because they are kind of different because of like the visual things, and even with like assault rifles and stuff like that, right? You have the optics and they are different for a reason, right? Some are scope, some are like reflex, some are like the hollow. So it needs to have that kind of visual differentiating factor as far as like the design goes when you put it on the weapon. But again, I was upset about it here, and I'm going to be upset about it here also, especially so here, where I'm like, okay, these are the only 3 items on the weapon that will definitely need to be like variants, that will kind of affect the visuals of the skin. Why not just put a little bit of extra effort and create like a little bit of uniformity for these attachments so they like match up with the visual of the skin? Yeah, it is a little bit of extra effort, but I don't like, this is not COD, right? Where they're adding 2,000 attachments every time they update the game, right? Where every new gun is adding like 6 attachments to the like attachment pool and all that. I actually hate that system because I feel like the attachment spam in that game has gone way over the top. I far prefer this system where you have limited attachments and this is what you get, right? And this is how it functions. So I'm fine with this, like just being 3 scopes, but even more so for the fact that there's just 3 scopes. That little extra effort when you're putting it on a skin should have that kind of color palette, would be appreciated. I'm gonna compare this to Battlefield this time around, and Battlefield is really weird. Like, the lower tier skins, they do the rarity system in their game also. And for some reason, the lower rarity stuff tends to actually have, like, when you change around attachments like optics and stuff like that, some of them, not all of them. I haven't like done massive research, but predominantly the lower rarity stuff, when you change around attachments, it does have, at least maintains a color palette. So even though it's not like super fancy design to it and all, like it might not be this design, but it'll have like a kind of blue tint to it or something like that to match up with the skins that you're like equipping to it. So you can still like mess around with attachments there and maintain visuals, right, of the skin, even though it might not be the fancy design of the selected optic. They have like a range of range of like attachments, right? So sometimes when they are selling their skins, they have specific loadouts set up, right? So you might have a specific optic and all, and those optics might have a unique design to it to like complement to the skin, right? But then when you change things around, you'll still get the default looking optics for the other stuff. So it's not that unique design, but it will maintain that color palette at the very least, right? So minimum kind of thing. And in Battlefield's cases, they do have more attachments than they do here. So like I would actually expect more so that you maintain visuals on here when you're buying the skins, right? For the like optics at the very least, right? The weird thing about Battlefield is the joke is when you buy the legendary skins and stuff like that, for some reason they don't do that. Like they don't maintain visuals all the time with the legendary status stuff, but the lower rarity stuff does, right? It's so weird. Like that bugged me about like Battlefield, but that's my point. And maybe like for the lower rarity stuff in this game, at least some sort of color palette adjustment for like some of these like the optics or whatever that kind of like will make a visual difference when you put it on the weapon. And then for the higher rarity stuff, maybe just go the extra mile and have it designed similar to this. Like I would wager if you put this similar design, like where it's gonna got a blue tint on the like the top of the scope and then the glow in the dark effect on the back, I would wager you could probably still be able to do that reasonably quickly design wise. Changing the color palette to fit that, right, with some of these optics. So maybe, you know, consider that when you're doing the other like skins in the future, where it'd be nice, like especially for the higher rarity stuff, but also the lower rarity stuff, where like when you have optics and all, it kind of matches up with the visual effect. Like the skins in this game, they don't have preset attachments and all, like, you know, Battlefield or Call of Duty and all that. So the few attachments, it'd be nice to have a little bit of like, you know, continuity or with the skins that are being purchased, right? So yeah, I mean, it for here, like in this one, it doesn't look too bad, right? This optic is like, yeah, it's all right. But it would have been nice to have some sort of like visual differentiating factor to these optics. Not necessarily like changing the like glass and the reticle and all, but just like a different color palette or something. So when you put it on there, it looks a little, you know, meant to be with the skin, right? So yeah, those are my thoughts as far as like the battle pass and the items go and all that. Like I said, all in all, I was pretty happy with this battle pass. Also, like the progression of the battle pass in season 1 was pretty decent. Like I've been playing the game a bunch, but I didn't struggle to finish it. Like I knocked it out pretty fast. I did use my double battle pass XP tokens for the first half of it. So I speed run the first half of the battle pass a little bit, and then sort of like realized, yeah, no need to use the battle pass. I'll definitely have it finished. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it's a good start as far as battle passes go. Definitely, and you know, you'd expect the battle passes to get better and better as time goes by. So it's not like I'm like, oh no, the battle pass is only okay this time. It's only going to be okay next time for sure. I do expect that the quality and the effects and designs and all that stuff will improve over time. That's always something that, you know, you'd probably expect from these kind of like live service microtransaction stuff, right? Yeah, that's it. You know, side note, I actually do kind of want to see like tracer pack and death animation kind of stuff in the game and all that. How far they'll go with that and all, I don't know, but I don't mind seeing that stuff. Like I've definitely I'm not in any delusion that this is a mill sim. I need it realistic and all that. I want to see the fun. I want to see the game go fun and crazy with it. Uh, back of my head, all I can think of right now is like, man, what an easy thing it would have been to make that reactive state where it changes colors. Uh, for the skull as you do like certain tasks, like getting eliminations with it. In that case, right? That would have been just an easy way of making it worthy of that legendary status. Not saying that it's not worthy. I'm just saying that could have been no doubt kind of a worthy kind of thing, right? But yeah, that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed Season 1's Tier 89 Battle Pass skin checked out. Next badass Battle Pass for this game will be next season. We'll see what's in store for us then. Also, a side note, I am hoping we get some sort of events and stuff like that. Something more than just grind the weapons and Battle Pass. We haven't heard anything about like activities, Season 1 activities, other than, like a new map coming and think some new weapons possibly. I don't know. Some activities, to encourage community gatherings and playings. That would be nice. That's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out my old streams if you haven't already, and I will catch you later. Bye. Yeah, did all right with the sniper. The skin's pretty cool. Spectra skin's pretty cool. But I honestly can't get out of my head, like, man, if it had that reactive state where it just changed colors as I slayed out, that would be pretty cool.